country. It's a small group, but they're very loud. And that group is called the Minutemen. In April of 2005, all the media was saying, oh, the Minutemen are coming to Arizona, and there's going to be 1,000 of them and all this. Well, so I contacted the human rights people in Arizona. And I said, you know, you've heard about these racist vigilante groups. They're the next version of the KKK. They're coming to Arizona. Would you like some help? And we want to go there and show you some support when they come and do peaceful resistance, prayers, and things like that. So she said, the leader out there, Isabel, she said, yeah, come on out. We want the border rangers to join us. So we did. So the Minutemen showed up, and of course there wasn't 1,000, there was only about 125. And we went out there, we did peaceful resistance, prayer vigils, poetry, things like that. And then I heard they were coming to California. So when they were coming to California, now they're going to be in our backyard. So I organized a group called Gente Unida, United People. And Gente Unida started off with just one person, then two. Now we're 65 different human rights organizations, and it's to resist and expose the Minutemen vigilante movement. So when they finally showed up in California on July 16th of 2005, I was on the Today Show, and it was myself versus the leader of the California Minutemen and the founder of the San Diego Minutemen, a guy named Jim Chase. So we're both on the Today Show, and the host of the show, Lester Holt, he says, Enrique, when I saw you in Arizona, you said that these Minutemen groups were racist. And I said, that's right, and I told you that not everybody that joins the Minutemen is racist, because some people really think they're protecting the country, and they just don't know. You know, they believe in the cause, but they really don't know what the background of these groups is. But sure enough, then they leave them, and that's exactly what happened. And I said, now, I would say that the majority of the Minutemen, now, July of 2005, are racist. And Jim Chase says, I'm not a racist, and all this kind of stuff. And I said, it's not up to you to determine if you're a racist or not. It's up to the community that's affected. And I, as a Mexican, am affected by what you do and say. I say that you're a racist. So Jim Chase says, I am not a racist. I have relatives that live in Mexico. They're named Herrera. And I said, what does that have to do with anything? There's racists in Mexico. There's racists all over the place. And I go, and I don't know about your relatives, but I know about you. And I go, Adolf Hitler had Jewish relatives. Does that mean he wasn't a racist? So Jim Chase doesn't know what to do. So we started going back and forth. And Lester Holt happens to be African American, and he says, I know about racism. And it sounds to me like you're a racist organization. And I go, Lester, look at their website. So he puts their website on the TV, and it says, bring baseball bats, bring machetes, stop the disease from crossing the border. And Lester Holt says, that's racist. So Jim Chase is all flustered, he doesn't know what to do, goes off the air. And that day, in Campo, California, which is in the east part of San Diego, the Minutemen show up. They're going to have 800 Minutemen. Just like in Arizona, only about 50 show up. But I have Gente Unida there. We have 500 people. A big crowd like this, really diverse, all ages and sizes and different political and religious beliefs. So when they get there, they have to camp about half a mile from us. And they're really upset. And they have guns. They have guns, they have Confederate flags and swastika tattoos. They say they're not racist. So they show up and they go out there next to where we're camping with little kids and old people. And that night they changed their website. So their website, instead of saying bring baseball bats and machetes, it says when you see migrants, say buenas noches. You know, as if that was going to change everything, because you say buenas noches to somebody before you shoot them or something. So what happens is, so we take out a little patrol. We have 500 people. They have 50. 15 of those 50 people are standing on the fence with Mexico with guns pointed towards Mexico. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's terrorism. It's a recipe for disaster. So about 50 of us gather around, not 50, about 15 of us gather around their 15 people. And it's pitch black. It's the middle of the desert. They have guns. We have no weapons, of course. We don't believe in that. And all of a sudden, we get megaphones. We do have megaphones and big spotlights. And we put the spotlights on them, and we say with the megaphones, buenas noches. And the Minutemen are startled. They almost jump out of their clothes. And they go, who are you? And we said, we're migrants. We saw your website. So they're not too smart, these Minutemen. So they think about it, and then they go, you're not migrants. And I go, yes, we're migrants. We even brought you some music. Would you like to hear some music? So they said, get your mother, you know what, out of here. And I said, we don't have that song. How about another song? So they get very upset. They get their guns and start chasing us. Now, we're activists and everything, but we're not dumb. So we get in our trucks, and we head straight back to the campsite. But we filmed all this. So the next day, Sunday, July 17th, on CNN and all the news stations, even Fox, it shows the Minutemen for who they really are. So they're exposed right away. They're exposed for being these racist vigilantes. That's why the Minutemen movement in California has never really taken off. And it really hasn't really taken off anywhere. The one thing I have to give them credit for is they have proven that racism is alive and well in the United States. And that it does come in all colors. Their movement is very small, very small. They made a lot of noise, but I know that the American people, survey after survey, does not support that movement.